All right, welcome to the first episode of our Forest Area Federal Credit Union podcast, where we talk about all things FAFCU, plus community-related topics, local business highlights, feature member stories, financial tips, fraud prevention, and much, much more. My name is Jason, and I'm here today with two guests, Alex Lutke and Justin Wolf. Can you both introduce yourself, talk a little bit about your role here at the credit union? Let's start with you, Alex.
Yeah, Alex Lutke, CEO here at Forest Area. Been here since 2017, took over as CFO at that point, and 2020 took over as CEO.
Awesome.
Yeah. Hey, Jason, thanks for kicking off this inaugural podcast for Forest Area. My name's Justin Wolf. I'm the Executive Vice President at the Credit Union. Started with the Credit Union back in 2018 and have loved every minute of it. We've got a great team of people here within the Credit Union and a great membership base that continues to grow. So looking forward to connecting with our members and potential members in new ways, including this podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very exciting. And saying that, we've literally been talking about this concept of a podcast for almost 4 years or more. And it's always been there. We've wanted to do it. It just didn't quite fit. And, we had some experience in the past couple of years that really gave us a foundation for this podcast. And now that we're launching it, it's amazing. And serendipitous to the beginning of what could be, a huge year for this credit union in 2026, really monumental. And that being said, we're here to talk about what's going to be going on in 2026. First and foremost, we can jump in with the biggest thing that everyone is buzzing about at the credit union, and some people outside of the credit union know about it. Let's talk about our new location in 2026. Alex?
Yeah, so we set out a handful of years ago as we talked about our branch network, where it made sense for us to put new branch locations. The first place that we knew that we needed to put a branch in was Cadillac. Obviously, we launched that in 2025, February, and so we were excited about that. And so now we're checking that box and moving on to the next box this year, and we have moved into the Traverse City market, and we're looking at Chum's Corners as a place that we're going to be putting another branch in, hopefully to be coming in the fall of 2026.
That's awesome. And can you talk a little bit about the strategy, why Chum's Corners? Obviously, I think a lot of people look at Traverse City as we need to be in Traverse City. Does that fit with Forest Area? Obviously, it does. What was some of the thinking behind that?
Yeah, good question. So the main reason we wanted to go to Chum's Corners, like I said, we knew we needed to go to Traverse City. And so we did some analysis on what made sense from where other financial institutions are, where there's growing populations, all those different analysis that we needed to do. And we recognize that Chum's Corners is growing. And as we think about our current membership, having the smaller communities, Chum's Corners is almost a smaller community within the Traverse City community. Yeah. And so it gives us an opportunity to be able to serve that community at Chum's Corner while still being able to be in Traverse City. There's currently no credit unions that have branches there. There are 2 bank locations, but that gives us an opportunity to go up there and compete without taking on the Michigan State of the world up there in Traverse City.
The other interesting thing about the Chum's Corners market is, one, our existing membership base. We have a large number of existing members that have a Traverse City zip code associated with their membership. So we already have them as members. We want to make sure that we're able to serve them effectively. And with our Kingsley branch and our Fife Lake branch sitting on the southern borders of Grand Traverse County, they're coming here to those 2 locations already. This is going to help us serve them even closer to home, as well as work on bringing in additional new members in that market area. So I think it's a really great balance of taking care of the members we have and working to do the same thing and help even more people that haven't experienced membership with the credit union yet.
Yeah, and on that note, there's only a couple roads that go into Traverse City. And with our membership that we already have, a lot of them, if they're working in Traverse City or if they're shopping in Traverse City, Chum's Corners is one of the main ways to get into Traverse City. And so a lot of our membership that we have is traveling through there anyways, but also new members, new possible members that are in our communities that we already have are traveling through there also. So it just gives us another billboard in that community where they can see us again, where we can be front of mind for those individuals.
Yeah, and it seems like Chum's Corners, from what I've seen, there's a lot of development going on. There's new businesses going in, a lot of housing, like worker housing's going in there behind the ballpark. There's home developments. The Meyer is going in 2027, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
So, like, I mean, it's booming. That's pretty significant stuff.
Yeah.
Timing is right.
Yeah, and we talked about where we needed to go. Like, where did we need to be in Chum's Corner? Looked at a handful of different parcels that we could have gone there. Ultimately landed on the parcel right out in front of Blaine's, right on Rennie School Road, because we knew that like we talked about, there's not a whole lot of roads going into Traverse City. That road's already crazy busy. We wanted a light. And so we knew that corner there gives us the ability to have that Rennie School Road light, where then people can take lefts and not have to deal with traffic coming into our parking lot to make it really easy for people.
It's a great spot.
Yeah.
That is a prime spot.
And there's no time like the present, right? When you've identified a growing area of the community, as more businesses and more housing goes into that area south of Traverse City around the Chum's Corners corridor, it's going to become more and more difficult to find real estate to plant your roots. So it was imperative that we get the process started and keep it moving so that we can ensure our place in that area.
Yeah. So kind of along those lines, last year, the field of membership increased. We went from 6 counties to 29 counties. We're still in our original footprint field of membership, but we're expanding. What does that look like 2026? But in the next 3 years, how are we expanding? Can you talk a little bit about our strategy of growth to reach some of those members that are in our new field of membership that are outside what we've been doing for the past 43 years?
Yeah, the premise always remains the same. Take care of our members and take care of our neighbors. Part of taking care of our neighbors is looking at expanding that physical footprint of the area that we can serve. And now, as of about a year ago, with that expanded field of membership, we can currently serve anyone in those 29 counties. Now the conversation turns to, how do we serve them? Are we looking at physical branches in other communities? What is the strategy? How do we start covering that 29 county area? What is the goal? Are we trying to blanket that whole area, or strategically place things, and in what order and what makes sense, all while being good fiduciaries of our members' funds and doing it in a responsible way? So we have the geographical area. So now it's really time to get serious about looking at the data, listening to our membership, and then executing on those ideas.
Yeah, over the last few years, we've really built a foundation to be able to serve a larger geographical area. And what I mean when I say that is, we talk about Evergreen. We launched that 4 years ago now at this point. What Evergreen is the ability to be able to serve our membership just like they would in any office that they come into, being able to do loans or new memberships or debit disputes or anything of that nature. We can do over the FaceTime interaction with our member, where they don't have to leave that screen. They can stay in that screen, sign all the documents that they need to sign, get that stuff taken care of. That was one foundational piece. Also, the launch of interactive teller machines, ITMs, is another piece that we can continue to serve members in other areas from a central location. And so there has been steps along the way to be able to get to this point where now we have our field of membership opened up to the 29 counties, everything north of US 10, and then 2 counties in the UP, where we can now say, okay, how do we serve these counties, like Justin said, in a responsible way financially, and not spend a ton of money, but be able to serve the communities that we are currently serving in other places? How do we go into the Elk Rapids of the world, the Manzanolos of the world, and still be able to serve them well, while using technology, but still have that white glove approach of still taking care of our member and not just turning them to a machine? We still have a face-to-face interaction in every interaction we have.
Right. That's one of the core parts of the culture here too, is that human interaction and maintaining that as we grow, even with being hand in hand with technology. How do we increase efficiency with technology, but still have that personal touch?
Right. And the interesting thing about our new field of membership, you can travel from one end to the other in, 2 to 3 hours, depending on where you're at. And while we're not looking at expanding to the furthest points, immediately, I like to remind people as we're having this conversation about where the credit union's going and how we expand our outreach in these 29 counties. We're still headquartered and based in Fife Lake, Michigan, the town where the credit union was born in 1983. And these 29 counties that we're able to serve now are quite representative of the first few counties we started with, and then the 6 counties that we had most recently. All 29 counties feel as though they're our neighbors, and I like to say, as we look at new opportunities, new areas to grow, such as going to Traverse City, we're able to tell that community, hey, we're your neighbors, we're in your backyard. Fife Lake, I feel, is just in the backyard of all of these 29 counties. And I know that with the level of service that we're accustomed to delivering here at Forest Area, we're going to be able to make new members in these newer communities and counties feel right at home and feel like they're really dealing with people in their own backyard. So really excited about that concept as compared to alternatives, right? Like taking on the entire state of Michigan, where you get down into southern Michigan, love many of the places down there, right? But they are different than northern Michigan. This way, as we're looking at growth and looking at serving more members each day, we're keeping it very similar to what we're used to and what we know we're good at.
Yeah, that's great. So you kind of touched a little bit on technology. Technology, it seems to be the core of everything, and something that we lean on a lot, talking about Evergreen. I mean, that is a technology that we use that really sets us apart from a lot of other financial institutions. Is there any technology that we're looking at in the next year or so that is going to be something that we're bringing on board, that we're partnerships that we're doing, something that we're looking to increase our tools and our technology toolkit?
Well, the answer is yes, and it'll probably always be yes. And I think it falls into 2 categories. We're continuously looking at technology that would help us deliver better service for the things that we already do, right? I mean, we have so many tools and processes in place right now, but are they being done in the most efficient way? Are they being done in a way that provides the member the best possible experience? So we're looking at our current systems and our current technology and evaluating them to say, hey, is there something better out there that we should be considering and looking at? And then there's the second piece of technology. It's the technology that maybe we haven't been using yet. It's new technology emerging in the market. And those are opportunities for the credit union, one, to continue delivering excellent member service, excellent member experiences, as well as new experiences that are brand new to the market. So, yeah, there are definitely some of those technology pieces out there that we're looking at.
Yeah, I mean, to be specific, some of the things that we've talked about, I'm not making any promises and any changes that we're looking to do, but internally, some
You've
of the
heard it here first.
some of the conversations are around what does our membership want, right? And number one, I know there's a lot of conversation around online banking. What does our online banking platform look like? Does it make sense to continue with our current provider? Does it make sense to be looking elsewhere? So trying to navigate that conversation of what does our members desire? And even within the online banking platform, what else do we need in there? Are there some type of tools that we can put within there, investment tools or bill pay type tools? Does our current bill pay system work? Do we need a new one? A lot of the technology piece around the online banking is something that we're definitely spending time on already this year. We're going to continue to be spending time there. As we look at our ITMs, continuing to build that out So all of our branches have the ITMs there in the drive-throughs. We're not going to be putting them in the branches anytime soon, inside anyways, but in the drive-throughs, we'll outfit all of those with our ITMs this year. And that just gives us the ability to serve our members from a more centralized location versus having it dispersed amongst the branches. So,
yeah, and it's important to see what is out there in the market, what are the new emerging trends, as well as talk to our members and get their feedback to see what they want. Do they want self-service options? Do they want to be able to take idle funds and buy individual stocks or invest in crypto? Are those features that they want, or are they features that are new to the market that we should begin thinking about making available to them? I'll rewind, talking about technology, go back 4 years ago when we launched Evergreen, that face-to-face interaction. That was huge technology for Forest area. And I'll argue that it was huge technology for the financial services industry.
Absolutely.
Now, FaceTime interactions were very prevalent 4 years ago. Using them in a real-time engagement to open a membership, handle service issues, apply and get a decision for a loan, book the loan, and actually receive funding all in the same engagement, and you don't even have to go check your email for e-sign because you're doing it all in that engagement. That was huge technology for us. And then as long as we're on the technology topic, I'll talk about there's some technology that we've looked at that maybe other financial institutions are using, but we're like, whoa, that's not for us, right? So, technology can be amazing, but only if you're going to have adoption from your membership, adoption from your team at the credit union. I'll just go out and say it. We have a little different stance on some technology than other FIs. Oh, FI is for financial institutions. That's our little catchphrase or abbreviation to encompass all credit unions and banks, right? Bots are a big thing in the industry. Whether you're calling into a contact center or chatting online, all of these things, one of the big things is bots, automatic responses, AI responses. AI has huge potential in our industry. There are pieces of it that we've already started using. There are pieces of it that we're just staying away from because we say that doesn't fit our culture, that doesn't fit our credit union, at least not at the moment. And when it comes to bots, our philosophy has been, when you call us, we want you to talk to us.
That human on the other end.
So that's what we're going. But there's also segmented approaches to that. What about after hours? A bot can be useful after hours. Maybe that's where we want to get it employed into our process. But during normal business hours right now, we're saying no, that's not really where we're at, not what we're interested in doing. So lots of technology out there, and we just have to look at it and see what are the pros and cons, what are the costs, what are the opportunities with using it, and does it really fit who we are and what our membership is?
Right.
Yeah, and that's not to say we're not going to do that in the future, but it's definitely been something that we've avoided when it comes to that, and as well as phone trees. You'd mentioned bots on the phones, but even so far as phone trees, we don't want to have that. We want our members to be able to call in and be able to get to a person, either dial an extension or talk to a person.
Everyone has a horror story about getting into that vicious cycle in a phone tree where you try to ask a question and they keep circling back and you get no answer for hours.
Yeah, and we don't want that. And so we haven't done that. Could it be more efficient on our employees? Yeah, we could have something out there that tells you your routing number and can do transfers, whatever. But we want to be able to have that white glove approach to be able to serve our members. Use technology, but still do it in a way that is helpful to our membership.
Yeah. That's huge. I think that's huge. Kind of circling back to ITMs a little bit and member feedback. How was that going from the standard ITM and drive up that everyone was used to with the current memberships? Obviously, ITMs aren't new in the industry, but for us, it was new. What kind of feedback or experience did you find that the members were having once we rolled those out?
Yeah, I think we were pretty strategic in how we rolled that stuff out over time. Even back to when we put on our Kalkaska branch 2016, there were screens that were put in place to be able to talk with the tellers inside or the MSRs inside. And so when the time came to be able to put in the ITMs, when we put those in, it's still a screen. And so at that point, the members were already aware and had that comfortable feeling of talking to a screen while using the tubes to make those transactions. So as we did that over time, as we launched new branches, that wasn't that different for them. Are you going to have some members that may not be as excited about it? Yeah. But usually their frustrations or complaints are, what are you doing with the jobs? Like, what's happening to my MSR's job inside that I used to talk to all the time?
Yeah.
Well, what's actually happened is we've created more jobs by doing this. They just look different, right? And that's something we tell our employees all the time. Your jobs are secure here. We're not putting in technology to get rid of jobs, but we do. But we do want to make sure that they're here with us, right? And so they're not going anywhere. They just may move to the back office versus being out in front on the everyday transactions.
Right. I know that there was initial concern that whoever was on the other side of that screen was not local, that they were from somewhere else. And, that was a big part of communication. Say, no, they're from Fife Lake or Manton or Cadillac, wherever, they're local too. Yeah. They're just not in that branch.
Yes. Yeah. Every ITM rep that comes on those screens are stationed right here in Fife Lake, Michigan.
Yeah. So. That says a lot. Not everyone does that.
Right.
And once our members utilize those machines for the first time, if they didn't understand that concept, they're usually pretty impressed with the experience because they're like, oh, this works, and I see the benefit to it. And then they realize the person I'm interacting with is an employee of the credit union. They're located in the credit union headquarters in Fife Lake. Actually, I recognize them because they used to wait on me through the drive-through before or in the lobby branch before. These are familiar faces, and it's just a little tweak or a little difference in how we're doing the business, but it helps us be more efficient and serve those members that much more quickly and accurately. And it has been very well received. When we put the machines in a new location for the first time, it's better if the weather's somewhat nice so that we can be out in the drive-through lanes physically talking to people, greeting them face-to-face, introducing them to the face on the screen that they're working with. And we've done that in all of our launches for the locations that have ITMs, interactive teller machines, if we didn't disclose that earlier. And it's gone really well,
It definitely has a different look too. When they're driving up, I'm assuming members were kind of looking around, thinking, "What's going on here? This is different out of the blue." If they didn't know about it yet.
That's right.
Yeah. Now, kind of, we've talked a lot about growth. What kind of things, I know with growth becomes growth of the credit union and our footprint under our field of membership. With that comes increased positions. You mentioned, ITM positions didn't take away anything. They added more positions. But with growth, obviously, new branches, you need staffing there. What are kind of the general outlook of increased staffing or, new roles that might be appearing at the credit union because of this exciting growth that we're looking at over the next few years and beyond?
Yeah, if we talk high level, when we were setting out on kind of some of these growth trajectories that we have now, back in 2019, 2020, we had around 45 to 50 employees. Today, we have 75 employees or positions that are open today. In 3 years from now, we'll likely be crossing that 100 mark of positions that we have as we look at our organizational chart and where we're heading as we open up new branches and as we look to the back office to be able to fill those roles. What do those roles look like? It looks like support staff for our branch teams. And what I mean when I say that is our branches or our evergreen ITM team and our contact center, their goal is to serve the members. So we will, as we have more members, we'll need to add to them as well. But we also have back office functions like accounting and payment solutions and loss prevention, all those types of teams. They all are there to serve the branches and the contact center that then serve the members. And so we're going to have to continue to add to them to be able to better serve the members as well, even though they may not be that member-to-member facing person, but they still are there to help serve the members.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and just by way of example, as the credit union continues to grow, and the risks that exist out in the world to all of us, no matter where we do our banking or our financial transactions at fraud and regulatory compliance are big issues, and as we grow a little bit each year, we have to make sure that we're protecting our members. So while we have to make sure that we're able to serve them, so we have the frontline staff serving the members, we have the back office supporting what the front line is doing, we also need to make sure we have the right people in place to help protect all of them, because there's just so much going on, so much risk, so many new types of fraud, and we never want to put our members or our credit union at risk. So keeping an eye on that is important also.
Yeah. And I will say, for anyone listening who's interested, we'll put a link to our career page in the show notes. So if you're interested in joining an amazing organization, we'll make it easy. You can click that link.
Perfect.
Justin, anything new on the lending front for this year? Any changes, updates, new things that we're working on, technology that we're looking at for lending in 2026?
Absolutely. Lending, we have many lines of business within our credit union, and lending is a big piece of our business. The deposit side's another big piece, and then everything in between. So making sure that we're able to help our members meet their needs when it comes to what they're trying to accomplish in life. When it comes to lending, oftentimes we're trying to help meet a need. Other times we're helping to try and reach a goal or fulfill a dream. The dream house, the first house, fixing the furnace in the house that I have, any of these things in between, having that reliable transportation, helping out, fund holiday purchases, whatever the case may be. So making sure we're providing excellent member experiences and access to the funds that they need is really important. So we're always watching technology. Really what we want to do is we want to be able to help our members with their needs and their dreams. We want to be able to do it quickly and efficiently and accurately. So continuing to use technology, enhance our systems so that when a member has a need or a dream, they make it easy to submit an application, make it quick to get an answer, make it quick to finalize the documentation and get the funds in the hands so that you can buy that home, so that you can do the Christmas shopping or whatever the case may be. And then along with that is doing more of that for more people. We have a really solid membership base at over 21,000 members right now. And we want to do the good things we're doing for even more people. So as we grow, making sure that we can, that we're positioned well to handle all of those needs and all of those dreams from our members. It could be easy to do a whole bunch of loans. You could get a whole bunch of loans in, but to do them well, do them accurately, and actually deliver what the member needs at the end of the day, that takes passion and it takes planning. So we're going to continue a focus in our mortgage lending area. Housing in northern Michigan, like many places of the country, has become a difficult thing to navigate for a lot of people in our communities. Everything from the housing inventory availability to the cost of getting into a home. So we're here to help with that, and we're going to double down on it and work to do even better at making those opportunities, those borrowing opportunities, available to our membership. And look at the programs that are available so that we can make sure we get people into the right fit so that they can not only be in their home or their dream home, but they're going to also be in the best financial position possible while they're doing that.
That seems like that goes back to Rod Lahr's reason for founding this credit union too. Like, that accessibility is really the core about what we're here for.
Yes. Yep. We need to be here for the members.
Yeah. This is awesome. We have a ton of great things happening this year. It's overwhelming almost. Like, this is going to be an amazing year. Super exciting. a great time to be a member or future member, an employee at Forest Area Federal Credit Union. Absolutely. Is there anything else that either of you would like to add that we didn't cover?
I think the only thing to just reiterate on is that as we continue to grow and change and do all those things, we still are that small town credit union, and
Absolutely.
that is true to who we want to be, even as we are a larger organization. We want, like Justin mentioned earlier, having headquarters here in Five Lake, Michigan. That was a very, very specific thing that we did to show that this is the community, the types of community that we want to be a part of, and we're not just going to jump ship as we grow. Like, we want to continue to serve these people. This is where a number of us have been born and raised. It has a bigger meaning to us than just running an organization. It actually means taking care of our neighbors. And so that just runs through our blood here at Forest Area, and that will never change.
It sure does. And topic for another podcast, because it will take another huge block of time, is the credit union's community involvement.
Yeah.
The amount of effort and love that the people associated with this credit union put back into our communities is nothing short of amazing. Our employee group here is extremely active and doing amazing things, many of which are credit union sponsored, and then a whole bunch that are not necessarily credit union affiliated. There's these 75 folks that work here are so involved in the community, either through a credit union sponsored event or program, or doing it on their own, because they live and work and play in our communities. So again, topic for we can cover all of that in a whole nother podcast, because there's a whole lot going on there, but just reinforces what this credit union really is. And that's not isolated just to our employee group. Our 21,000 members are hugely engaged in the communities as well. And we have hundreds upon hundreds of examples of that I'm sure we'll talk about and share in the future.
Absolutely. And you made a great point. We work here, but we live in the communities too. And I think that's part of the reason why our membership feels like they're part of the family. Like, we're all in this together. We're here for them, and they're here for us. It's a symbiotic relationship.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, fantastic. I want to thank our listeners for listening today for our inaugural podcast. I want to thank Alex and Justin for being part of this. This has been great. Want to remind you to follow the podcast, set up the notifications so you'll see when our next podcast comes out, and we'll be coming at you with some new topics. It's going to be exciting stuff. We're going to keep it real, keep it fun, and have some exciting times. Looking forward. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you.